getting ready for the day and saw something that reminded me of during COVID on Sister Wives when Cody said, well, if your mom gets sick, to Gabe and Garrison, who do you think's supposed to take care of her? And they're like, we will. And he's like, oh, because in the context of the discussion was like, if anybody gets sick, he would be expected to do it. And what's wild about that to me is he set up this whole false dichotomy that he would have to take care of Janelle. It would be his responsibility. And that's why it's so bad, blah, 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 that they're not following the rules, even though I always say this, which is Janelle and Christine have both said they followed the CDC rules, which were, I mean, they were pretty restrictive, so I don't get, and then he couldn't articulate the rules. And of course, the core issue was he was breaking his own rules. He had a nanny coming in and out of his house who was going home to a husband who was working out of the house. So as near as I can tell, they were no more careful than Gabe and Garrison or any of the other family members were. It was just because they trusted their nanny. It was different when the nanny did it. And yes, the nanny did expose them to COVID, but did not give them COVID. That's something that people get confused a lot, is the nanny did expose the family to COVID. But she didn't, but nobody caught it that time. When they caught it later on, they said it was because of Brianna. We don't actually know. It could have been someone else. But anyway, my point was he set up this whole thing about how he would have to take care of Janelle and the boys are being ridiculous to say they would take care of it. And then they got sick. Janelle and the boys did get sick, and there's no indication that Cody did anything to help them, because I kind of feel like if he had done anything, he would have screamed it to high heaven. As near as I can tell, he didn't even drop off groceries, and if he did, he certainly didn't mention it, which to me means he probably didn't do it. But it was crazy to me is he had said that on camera, and you'd think that just to prove his point, he would have begrudgingly been like, well, I told Janelle, I'd take care of her and I was going to, but I couldn't or whatever. And so it's so frustrating to me that he doesn't even have enough memory to remember what he told people about that. He clearly did nothing. And then it's this whole, when he falls sick, no one was there to help him. And I thought, you didn't do anything for Janelle. Of course, I imagine in his mind, he was so much worse than she was. And I don't know if that's true. Janelle didn't really talk about it. He certainly has talked about it a lot. I'm not going to downplay COVID. People died. I knew people who died, stuff like that. It was very severe. It doesn't seem that their particular case was so severe that they almost died. They were extremely uncomfortable, and we've certainly all been sick where we're extremely uncomfortable. I have no doubt they were extremely uncomfortable and miserable. But one, Janelle didn't give it to them. Secondly, she even said when they talked about it later on about how she couldn't have come in, and Aurora was in the house downstairs, according to them, and she could come and go just fine. So she could have gotten supplies. So I don't know what, but it's a real big deal that Janelle couldn't do it. But, he didn't even follow through on what he told the boys about how he would have to take care of Janelle. The boys ended up taking care of Janelle. And unlike Cody, they didn't make a huge big deal of it. But anyway, I was just thinking about that and I had to share my thoughts.